Has he shot anybody?
He fired a shot. I don't know if he shot her or not. And he just choked me. And I'm afraid for my son and my baby. Please hurry, please.
Oh my God! Where are you at?
Victims of domestic violence, they're like a prisoner of war.
Officers have to understand that either you're our knight in shining armor or you're our worst nightmare.
The police are on their way, okay?
So the question is, when do we change the culture and all stand up and say that violence against women is something we're not going to tolerate in policing?
How can I help you?
She won't die.
Who won't die?
My wife.
What's wrong with your wife?
Well, I tried to strangle her about 4 different ways. She won't die.
Why are you trying to kill her?
Because I don't like her.
This is truly the engine and the juice that runs this crime day in and day out, is someone's belief that they have every bit of control over a family and their everyday movement and their life.
When I met my husband, he was so charming. As soon as I married him, his whole disposition changed with me. Immediately, I became owned.
I mean, manipulation is obviously a tactic that they use, but when you're in it, it's so hard to see.
And this is the pattern of an abuser. They twist your life.
90% plus of cases involving serious, severe domestic violence, you're going to see a female victim.
Women are the #1 target, and most perpetrators are male. However, there is a significant population of LGBTQ intimate partner violence.
A series of behaviors typically emerge. One is the complete domination over money, forced sex, extreme jealousy and obsession. If I can't have you, nobody's going to have you. Threats to kill.
What's key here is to remember that this is a relationship that evolves over time. This is not just the incident that you are in as a police officer.
I want to talk about frustrations specific to intimate partner violence or domestic violence.
Going to the same address and no signs of bruises or anything like that. The abusing the system and get the other one locked up.
Okay, all right, overuse the system maybe.
They called you there obviously, and then they don't want to cooperate. They don't want to maybe give you statements, or they don't want you to arrest their boyfriend or husband. It's more or less that you're doing them a disservice by taking that person to jail.
Okay, all right, and it's frustrating, right?
The victim goes right back to the person, and it's almost like they're setting the person up for failure. It's just a cycle, it just keeps going.
Could you imagine sitting around having a cup of coffee at the end of the detail and have an officer say, you know, these hostage situations, they're a waste of our time. I'm tired of going back to them again. I really don't want to answer them. We wouldn't say that about those crimes, but for some reason we say it about these crimes, which means we're focusing often on what the victim is doing.
Hello? Come on down here. Here, come here. Come here. What's going on?
I find a lot of times that it's hard to find anybody at the scene that's really just wide open and ready to talk to us and let us know exactly what's happening. Just doesn't happen that much.
Where's he at?
He ran that way.
Okay.
There's an explanation why a victim doesn't want to cooperate, because victims will often tell you when bad things happen to him, worse things happen to me.
And I had to promise I would never call the police again. Like swear, he couldn't trust me. So then to have the police come, he was shocked. And my ex stood back into the hallway so that you couldn't see him from the front door, and he was like, and all of that. And I was really scared because he's completely capable of doing that.
the officer that thinks that she's refusing my help or that she's not taking the course of action that we think is the most appropriate, think again, because it may not be the most appropriate for her, and statistically, arresting him is no guarantee that she will survive. Issuing an order of protection is no guarantee that she will survive.
He's a little out of control, but please don't send anybody. We're just real concerned about your welfare. Okay? Yeah. And we are going to ask an officer to come by. No. Okay, why are you concerned about an officer coming by? Please don't.
It's just the most terrifying moment. You're so scared of both people at that time. But also, you don't really want them to take your abuser, usually. You just want the abuse to stop. But it's not the first time.
She's not only thinking about herself, she's thinking about her kids. She's thinking about, where am I going to go? Are they going to take my kids from me? Am I going to get arrested? If he gets arrested, how are we going to make it without his financial support? It's this perfect storm of things that she has to think about, all in a matter of seconds. And so sometimes by the time a law enforcement officer responds to the scene, she may have changed her mind. She's already recanting. She's already minimizing. And that's a survival strategy.
I remember a lot about the police. Every chance I got, I would call. No one asked about the history. How many times had it occurred? Had he ever threatened to kill her before? We were never asked those questions.
This yellow house. This is where my mother was murdered.
There's a lot we have in common with domestic violence victims, and we should understand that. Who stays on the job facing certain danger, maybe death? It's police officers. We got more in common with victims of domestic violence than we know, because they live in danger every day. They live with certain assault and maybe death.
And it was in the bedroom right above, to your left, right there.
I heard pow, 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 pow. And I dialed 911. And I told them that my dad had shot my mom. What stuck with me with the officers coming to the house were the officers in the room while she was still there. They joked. Everything they said will stay with me forever.
We don't want to do more damage. We're here to help people. If you can do it right, first time, second time, third time, you might be saving yourself a homicide case a little later down the road.
Because there was no documented history, they offered him a plea bargain, so he would only serve 18 months. When the judge asked him if he had something he wanted to say, his statement was, I just want to hurry up and get my time done so I could get back home to my family.
When you talk to the offender, if they are truly a domestic violence offender, you're not just talking to one generation of offenders, you're talking to generations of offenders who have, justified using male privilege and entitlement to control their family.
It's easy to see the offender who's overtly resisting, who's telling a law enforcement officer to go forth and multiply or something. But the more calculating, manipulative offender, who may be more sociopathic potentially, may be very much in control, may be wanting to depict the victim as histrionic, neurotic, dishonest.
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. You're not telling me much, and she's talking to me.
Nothing happened. She's vindictive. I didn't even know she was on there I didn't even believe she was on the phone with you.
They're doing a lot of fishing. They're throwing up all kinds of things and seeing what's going to stick. They're very good at reading us, just like we try to read them. And they become skilled in staying out of handcuffs.
You know, I don't want to express what my wife has done to me. I mean,
The question is, when do we change the culture and all stand up and say, and then we're going to do a better job of it, and we're going to investigate the right way, we're going to prosecute, we're going to hold offenders accountable.
There's much more that's evidence supporting her claims, substantiate what she's saying. So right now you're under arrest, all right? 1 second.
That's when we'll start to see the culture start to change around violence against women in American policing.
This has been going on forever and ever. Could you just send the police, please?
Okay, we're going to be there. Who's taking your baby?